Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back to the new Build Your Stash and Craft. So this week we purchased for our project cotton swabs, and mine came with some extra things in it, but we really just needed the Q-tip type swabs, and we picked up some clothespins, regular full-size clothespins. So what we're going to do this week is an oldie but a goodie. We are going to do dot painting because this is something I did a long time ago, and then I just recently saw someone put up a picture of a dot painting that they had done, and it just reminded me this is a lot of fun, and I had forgotten all about it. So it's one of those things that's very, very simple, and I'm going to just choose two colors. I'm going to go with turquoise and yellow, I think. I'm going to turn my little palette over so it's a little flatter to press into, because we're just going to press something in there to get a circle and then put it on our paper. And again, like I said, this is so simple, and my glue or my paint's getting a little bit thick, didn't want to come off. So and you can do it in any size. So like you can use the eraser of a pencil. Now this is a new pencil, so it's a nice flat eraser, and the way that I have always done it is get some paint on whatever it is you're going to use as your tool, and then just tap it off a couple of times so that it doesn't have too much paint on it when you put it on your paper. Now you can do that however you wish, but that's just how I like to do it. And then you kind of want to make sure that you're actually getting paint all over the whole thing, and then you just make a dot. Now normally I will go from my palette to my paper without going more than one time. And to make a flower, I usually just do 6 dots around with 1 dot in the middle. And so we'll just put 1 more dot out here, and then just wipe this off. Let's grab a little paper towel here, and then just wipe it off so you can easily go from one color to another. And we'll just grab a little bit of yellow and put that right in the middle. Just like that. Now, my eraser is making, it's thicker on one side than on the other. So if you don't like that, what you can do is just to go back and touch it again to just kind of spread it out. And you can also like touch it and turn your pencil after you do that to kind of move that extra over to the other side. But I like the texture. It just gives it to me a little bit more interest. So now some tools, you can make your circles go from large circles to small circles just by not reloading the paint on the tool that you're using. Now some work better than others. Some of, like the eraser, I don't think works very well, but we'll go ahead and we'll try that. So we'll just, I don't think I want to do it on that same little piece of paper, because I could turn that into a card front or a nice background with just more and more flowers on there. I'm going to set that over there. And so we'll try it. Again, just, kind of loading it up and letting it not be too thick. And then just let's see what happens if we just do 1 dot after another. It doesn't really get smaller. It just kind of gets less and less paint and lighter. So, but one tool that I know does work very well for that would be like our ball tools that we have. And so you just dip that in your paint and just continue to go until it stops leaving paint or just gets too small. And so there we go with that. And so these work really well if you want to like make a starburst. You can, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to put a bigger size dot in the middle, and I'm going to try the yellow. And then just I think that it needs to be mixed up a little bit. It's just too thick. It's not getting on there very well. Okay. I'm not exactly sure why, but, well, it has to do with my yellow paint is too thick. It's not leaving a circle, but the blue is. And so it's not my tool. It's my paint. And whenever you're playing with something, remember, sometimes you might think that it's your tool, and it may not be your tool. It might be the product that you're working with instead of the tool you're working with. So go ahead and, remember to look and see what seems to be going on and how you might be able to fix your problem. So with this one, I'm thinking maybe if I spray it with just a little bit of water, because I really do think it's just too thick. So just get it thinned out a little bit, and we'll see if it works any better. I'm going to wipe it off because I've got it all over the ball so that we've got it. So let's see if this works any better. Oops, I'm not supposed to redip until, there we go. Now I have more of a circle. So my paint was too thick. And so my paint was making odd marks because it wasn't sticking all the way to the ball. But so I do like to make like these like sun rays or starbursts or whatever you want to call them, where it just goes from bigger to smaller as you dot onto your paper. And I think that those are really pretty too. So you can do mandalas like this. These make wonderful mandalas using different size circles to, different size tools to make different size circles and make different patterns with different colors and different tools so that you have a pretty mandala. Because once you start in the middle, you just move out from that, and that's what makes your mandala. You can use just dots like this, or you can, if you want, you can draw bits of it. You can use different shapes. And that's the other thing. For dot painting, when I first started way back when, my thought was dot painting. Oops, I wasn't supposed to do that. Dot painting was all circles because it's a dot. But then I got to thinking, after I'd done it for quite some time, and I thought, why does it have to be a dot? Why does it have to be a circle? And so I started using other things that weren't round and made different type shapes with them. So, and speaking of that, I'll do it now so I don't forget. Like, okay, I'm not going to take it apart. Let's try this way. This is a rectangle, and these are rectangles. So you could put those in the paint. Let's just put one. So we're going to put that rectangle in the paint, tap it off just a little bit, and then I can come in here and just use that as my tool to go ahead and get a repetitive pattern, but it doesn't have to be a circle. Oops, I didn't tap off on that one, and I really wound up with too much paint. And that happens. And sometimes once you're dry, if you go back in there, if you're careful, you can sometimes just tap it and pick a little bit of that paint up. Normally, if you just leave it, it will be okay when it dries, because if you try and pick it back up again, sometimes you can do that. Sometimes it doesn't work very well. See, now I'm getting paint on here, so now I'm doing this, but I'm also getting little bits somewhere else. So I have to be careful about doing that. But, so there we go. So, see, your dots don't have to be circles. And these make beautiful cards. Do this whole thing. Now think about this right here. Isn't that gorgeous? And if it was just this whole thing, instead of me doing these dots here, and then just all you need to do is cut a word out of a magazine, smile, happy, enjoy, and put it on there. If you can't find a word that you like that's big enough, cut out just letters. Love, just cut out an L and O, a V-E. Ransom letters. Cut them out and put them, you know, on an angle, straight across, however you would want to do that, on the front of a card, and they look really cute too. So that's a great way to do a fun handmade card. And, you know, it's just, this to me is just really fun to do. I enjoy doing this. It's a really nice, like, sit down and just relax type thing. And like I said, and if you mess it up a little bit, then try just maybe doing something else. Like, maybe take it and, if you didn't like this, make it an X instead of just a line. So see, you can just do so many different patterns with just the simplest of things and just repeat them, and it makes for a great background, actually just a great picture even. So, so the reason that I got the clothespins is because a long time ago when I was very young, I was probably in my young 20s. I was doing a craft fair and I thought, what could I do that was fairly quick? And so I took clothespins, and I want one that's clean. And I used a pen, just a regular pen, and then I think I switched to permanent markers, but they had to be the really fine point that weren't real wet because they kind of bled. But and so I just wrote on them, oops, I was going to say C-I, C-H-I-P. Chip clip on one side. And then I like colored that a little bit to match the other side. Let's use this yellow because it's already watered down. I would just use a watered down paint and just color over that like that on that side, because I'm going to put a pattern on the other side, so I didn't paint that side. But I do think I painted all of the edges. And I sold these, I think, in sets of 3 or 4 or something for $1 or 2 for $1. I don't remember. They did not sell well. But, you know, it was just something I had in my head. But the reason that I had it in my head was because I had bought some chip clips, and they were really long plastic, and they said chip clip on them. And they were... they really didn't work that well. They took up so much room in my cupboard. You know, when you attached all the chips and cereal bags and all that kind of stuff that I used them for. I'm going to put it on here too, and I'll use red, and I'll use different. I won't use yellow for my flower center. But I just needed something this is much smaller. It fits inside a cereal box really well, because that way it made sure that the kids rolled up the cereal and then put the clip on it. But the great big chip clips, they were just too big to fit in the box. So I used them, and I still use. Now I just throw regular clothespins in my drawer. But I was needing some the other day, and I couldn't find, I think I'm completely out of the pack of clothespins that I bought. And so I was going to go buy clothespins, and I thought, what the heck? I'm going to show you all, like, how I made those, because I use them all the time. And like I said, they don't have to say chip clip. They can just be decorated on both sides. You know what they are. I did that so people could see. And then I drew on it with, I drew on all of them with colored pencils. I drew flowers and ivy and that type of thing. They were actually quite cute, but just not, I don't want to do red and green. So, oh, we've probably got enough blue out there and way too much green now. Let's do, well, we can go back and forth too. So I need to tap off. And so I'm just going to do, I'm using a skewer now because I need to use less space. So, not even going to wipe it off. We'll see how this goes. See if it looks blue or if it looks green. And if there's not enough room to fit it on the clothespin or whatever you're doing, just go ahead and put it where it belongs. Only half of it shows up. That's totally fine. Forgot to tap that one off, so I wound up with lots and lots of paint in that spot. I'm just going to keep picking it up and moving it around a little bit. There. So now over here, this one just came off the edge because it doesn't need to be, it doesn't all have to fit on there. So I'm just going to do one there and there. I just think that these are fun. And like I said, I find them very relaxing. And I also just find that it is an easy way to just do a card or something like that. And look how fast it goes. It really goes fast. And if you don't like the 6, you could do 5 and make them just a little closer together, and that would probably work. But 6 fits really well. And because I'm doing this in quite a bit of a hurry, it is spreading together. I did one as a sample, and then I smeared my hand across it. So I smeared one of my flowers, but it turned out pretty good. So yeah, I'm doing this a little bit too fast, and it's not turning out as well as I would like it to turn out, but it is still going to work to hold my chips together, to hold the bags closed in my cupboard, because there's nothing worse than buying a bag of chips for how expensive they are and having them get stale because they wouldn't stay rolled up. And like I said, I just didn't like those great big ones. You can get any kind of clip. You don't need, to me, these are just so cheap. And that's me. I'm cheap. I don't like to spend a lot of money on anything. So therefore, I try and find the most reasonable way I can do it. But there's my chip clip. And it's got some flowers on it that may or may not look like flowers because they're quite squished on there. But, so here's one that I did, and this one actually turned out really well, except I stuck my finger in it right there. So I smeared that off the edge, but I think that they look really great. This one I didn't put chip clip on, and I didn't color my clothespin, but they work great for that. So I just wanted to come on and remind you that dot painting is really fun. It's really relaxing, and, you know, you can do it. You know, here's just one that I was just playing around with different colors and everything. Different size circles, you know, one inside of the other and that type of thing. But, you know, see, a dotted border is really pretty. Big ones and little ones together are really cute. Doing the flowers on a page and then just putting some dots, you know, randomly on the page so that it just kind of helps break up even the white even more. That looks really cute. And like here is a starburst that I did. I just like those. So that is our quick, easy project for today. Useful if you do like to close up your bags. And like I said, you can buy chip clips, and you can just buy plain old regular like clips, like this type of clip, any kind of clip. But this is 32 for $1.25 versus buying the chip clips. It's like 6 of them for $1.25, or regular clips. There might be 5 or 6 of those for $1.25. So I'd rather have 32. I can use them for this, and I can use them for other things, and they will last me a whole lot longer. So thank you very much for stopping by today, and I hope that you all are enjoying my videos. If you do, share them with your friends and let them know that I'm here, because that does help me, the more views that I get. So I hope that you all are enjoying yourselves, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.